Good afternoon. It's Friday. It's Friday. We've made it to Friday. Yay for Friday. We are back in the land of the adventures of the wishing chair. Fridays are normally an Emily day, but Emily's not feeling very well, so I'm very pleased to say I'm back with Molly McMolster of Old London Town, with the distinctive Molly McMolster of Old London Town wave there. And obviously it'll be you and me for the weekend for picture books.
Yeah.
I think we've already picked out some because a lot of them are follow-ups to last week's one.
Yeah, like
We've got Bear and the Piano, The Dog and the
Fiddle, and I thought
I can't remember what else we've already chosen a few.
maybe the Crayons Christmas.
Crayons Christmas. Yeah, Crayons Christmas, even though we're
really
nowhere near
Christmas.
Christmas, and please God we're not kind of like still doing we're not still in lockdown by Christmas, but we've got loads of Christmas books if we do, but please, we are not still in this situation by Christmas. So we are on a new adventure today. We've got titled Poor Lost Chinky, who's the little, and I was saying to Emily that because Chinky lives in a little playhouse at the bottom of Molly and Peter's garden, that's a bit like this. We are in a playhouse at the end of your garden here.
Yeah.
So this is sort of the if you picture it, it's the sort of house where Chinky would be staying. And there would be a chair here.
Yeah.
This, for the purposes of this, would have to be the wishing chair, and it would be growing wings. Doesn't look quite like the wishing chair that I imagine, or the one in the books, but that is the chair. Anyway, let's crack on, because I've got a call in 17 minutes. So, right. I had this problem yesterday. There's an ant. We need to sort out these ants. There's ants in your little house here.
Yeah, and this is really.
Yeah. Bye.
Last time when we were finishing this, Daddy spotted this like spider and like there, but it was like only the legs out, and it just like scary.
Exactly. They were huge legs, weren't they? They were,
Yeah.
And I don't know where it's gone. So suddenly it's kind of.
Yeah, and I think there's a one like under there somewhere.
Oh yeah, it probably is. Well, there's a vent up there. In fact, I can see a spider's web. Oh, no spider in it. Anyway, I'll say if there's a spider suddenly looming up. Right. Okay. Poor lost Chinky. Right. Let's carry on with reading. Once a dreadful thing happened when the children were venturing on the wishing chair. It had grown its wings most conveniently when all three were in the playroom, so they jumped on and were soon flying high in the air. As they were flying, they heard a loud droning noise and looked round. "It's an aeroplane," shouted Peter. "I say, it's very near us," cried Molly. And so it was. It didn't seem to see them at all. It flew straight at them, and the edge of one widespread wing just touched their flying chair, giving it a tremendous jerk. Molly and Peter were sitting tightly in the seat, but Chinky was on the back, and he was jolted right off the chair. Molly clutched at him as he fell, but she only just touched him, and the two children watched in the greatest dismay as he fell down and down and down. "Oh, Peter," cried Molly in despair. Poor Chinky. Whatever will happen to him?" The aeroplane flew on steadily, never guessing that it had touched a wishing chair. Peter turned pale and looked at Molly. "We must make the chair go down and see if Chinky is hurt," he said. "Oh dear, what a dreadful thing to happen. Chair, fly down to earth." The chair flapped its red wings and flew slowly down to the ground. It stood there and the children jumped off. They were in open country with wide fields all around them. There was no sign of Chinky at all. They heard the sound of someone chanting a song and saw someone coming towards them, a round, fat little man carrying a bundle on his head. "Hi," called Peter. "Have you seen a little pixie falling out of the sky?" "Is that a riddle?" said the round little man, grinning stupidly. "I can ask you one too. Have you seen a horse that quacks like a duck?" "Don't be silly," said Molly. "This is serious. Our friend has fallen out of the sky." "Well, tell him not to do it again," said the little round man. "All that fell out of the sky today was a large snowflake. Good morning." He went on his way, his bundle bobbing on his head. The children were very angry. "Making a joke about a serious thing like poor Chinky falling out of the sky," said Molly with tears in her eyes. "Horrid fellow." "Here's someone else," said Peter. "Hi, stop a minute." The someone was another round, fat person, also carrying a bundle on her head and singing a little song. She stopped when she saw the children. Have you seen a pixie falling out of the sky? Asked Peter. No, have you? Said the round little woman, grinning. Of course, said Molly impatiently. Fibber, said the round woman. A big snowflake fell out of the sky, but nothing else. They've got snowflakes on the brain, said Peter, as the woman went on her way singing. Come on, Molly, we'd better go and look for Chinky ourselves. We know that it was somewhere near here where he fell. We'll carry the chair between us so that we may have it safely. I don't trust these stupid people. They carried the chair along and came to a marketplace. It was full of the same round, fat people, all humming and singing. A town crier was going round the market, ringing a bell and crying, oh yay, Dame Apple Pie has lost her spectacles, oh yay. Then Peter had a splendid idea. I say, Molly, let's tell the town crier to shout out about Chinky. We'll offer a reward to anyone that can tell us about him. Someone must have seen him fall. So before very long, the town crier was ringing his bell and crying loudly, oh yay, a reward is offered to anyone having news of a pixie who fell from the sky, oh yay. Molly and Peter stood on a platform so that people might know to whom to go if they had news, and to their delight there came quite a crowd of people to them. We've news, they cried, struggling to get to Peter first. Well, where did you see the pixie fall? Asked Peter of the first little man. Sir, I saw a big snowflake fall in the buttercup field, said he. Don't be foolish, said Peter. I said a pixie, not a snowflake. Don't you know the difference between pixies and snowflakes? We all know that snowflakes fall from the sky. That is not news. Next, please. But the next person said the same thing, and the next, and the next. It was most annoying and very disappointing. We want our reward, suddenly shouted someone. We've given you news, but you've given us no reward. You haven't given us the right news, shouted back Peter angrily. That doesn't matter, shouted the little folk, looking angry. They looked rather funny too, because for some reason or other they all carried their bundles and baskets balanced on their heads. Give us our reward! They swarmed towards the platform on which the two children were standing, and Molly and Peter suddenly felt frightened. I don't like this, Molly, said Peter. Let's go. These stupid creatures think that pixies and snowflakes are exactly the same, and we certainly can't give them all a reward. Climb into the chair. Molly jumped into the chair, which was just near them on the platform. Peter sat on the arm and cried out loudly, Home, chair, quickly! The chair flapped its wings and rose up, but it didn't rise very high, only just above the heads of the angry people. Its legs began to jerk in and out, and to Peter's enormous astonishment, the chair kicked off bundles, pots and baskets from the heads of the furious marketers. Peter began to laugh, for really it was most comical to see the chair playing such a trick. But Molly was in tears. What's the matter? Asked Peter, drying her tears with his handkerchief. It's Chinky, sobbed Molly. I did love him so. Now I feel like we'll never see him again. Peter's eyes filled with tears too. He was such a good friend, he said. Oh, Molly, it would be so dreadful if we never saw him again. They flew home in silence. The chair flew in at the playroom door and the children jumped off. It will never be so nice going on adventures again, said Molly. Why ever not, said a merry little voice. And the children turned round in joy, for there was Chinky the pixie sitting on the floor reading a book. Chinky, we thought you were lost forever when you fell off the chair, cried Molly, hugging him hard. Don't break me in half, said Chinky. I wasn't hurt at all. I just changed myself into a big snowflake and fell into the buttercup field. Then I caught the next bus back to the bottom of the garden, and here I am. I've been waiting simply ages for you. A snowflake, cried Peter. So that's why everyone talked about snowflakes. Now I understand. He told Chinky all about their adventures and how the pixie laughed when he heard about the chair kicking the bundles off the heads of the angry people. I wish I'd been there, he said. Come on now. What about a game of Ludo?
Land of
The
Dreams.
end. So that was chapter 5, and we're on Friday. So back to Monday, we'll be back in this land, and it's called the Land of Dreams. But as I say, tomorrow and Sunday, it'll be me and Squirtle here, back in here, or if it's a sunny day, we'll be out on the kind of like the table in the garden. Hopefully it'll be sunny, and hopefully we'll be outside. It's a nice day today. And we'll have some lovely picture books. But in the meantime, happy Friday. we'll wish our best wishes to Emily, who's feeling proper poorly. She banged her head yesterday. She did a headstand. Did you see it yet?
Handstand onto the wall.
She did a handstand onto the wall and bashed her noggin. So she's got
And then her head's bleeding.
Yes, she's got a little plaster there, but she's feeling a bit sorry for herself today. Hence us
It was like a heart plaster, so she looked like an angel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's quite a cute looking plaster. So, so we'll see you tomorrow. We'll have some lovely picture books and have a great Friday. Okay, bye.